We are starting the demo video for sensor trainer kit. In this trainer kit you have three modules, module A, B and C, and you have the fourth module which is the sensor block and the fifth module for load cell. The first thing that you have to do is you have to connect these power cables on the top. There are three cables individually provided for that. The socket which is presented here is used for heating the heating element for thermocouple. The direction for on and off are given here, heater off and on. Right now as you can see the heater is connected but it is in off state. So the first thing is to remove the boxes. Now it have to be removed on the right side. You have to make sure to remove it on the right side and keep it aside. Make sure that you connect the right box to the right number. All the numbers are given here. For A it is A, for B you can see it is B, and similarly for C it is C. Our C block is the data equation block which has our data equation system with the LCD display. You have to connect the keyboard and the mouse on the right hand side, and you can also connect a USB port to this, and you can transfer your data acquired file through this. So you have to make sure that you can use any port for anything. This is just for representation that there are three USB ports given: keyboard, mouse and USB, which can be used. Now let us first come to our A block. In this A block we have multiple sensors. We have our speed sensor, in which the speed is being sensed through Hall effect sensor. There is a small Hall effect sensor, magnetic sensor here, and a magnet is attached to the DC motor, 12 volt. Now the next sensor is the limit switch. This one is the limit switch. The output of limit switch is given here, NO, NC and COM. Internally we have given an optocoupler here. Our proximity sensor is given here, the output of which is given here at output. Supply and ground is also given internally. Here you have the smoke sensor, where if you turn it on, it will give the sensor output to the buzzer if the smoke density is too polluted. Then we have the load sensor here, in which we are connecting the load sensor. It is a D-type connector which is connected to this point, and you can see as soon as I connected it is floating. So next is our thermistor RTD. So the RTD, the wires are quite simple: black, green, green. It is a color coded combination which is used to connect the RTD sensor. The next sensor which is on this board is our thermocouple. Here is the thermocouple sensor. It goes simply to ground and output. Here is and this is our LDR sensor. Now coming to the next block, this one is used for strain gauge and LVDT. The sensor for strain gauge and LVDT are connected to these points respectively. So like for this is our LVDT, this one will go on the top, and this one is for strain gauge, this will go on the bottom. These are the meters which are given to represent the digital value of these output sensor outputs. So first we will start with RPM measurement. For starting the RPM measurement, you just have to rotate the dial. As soon as you turn the dial, the motor will start moving and the sensor will start picking up the data. So right now it is sensing the RPM with respect to the magnet and the sensor, and it is showing us the RPM of the motor. We can also lower down the speed and measure the output of the RPM. The RPM can also be seen on a DSO, and you can calculate the speed with respect to the number of pulses. Now coming to our next sensor for thermocouple. For thermocouple and thermistor both are connected here right now. So now what will happen is, if I want to see the temperature of thermocouple, I need to connect it to the top, this side. This is showing thermocouple. and for RTD it is showing on the bottom. I'll show you the difference. As soon as we have taken a grip of it, temperature started rising, but in RTD, in thermocouple, you can see there is no change. There is change in only in RTD because it is in my grip right now. Similarly, for thermocouple, as soon as I grip it,
thermocouple connecting cable सही yellow below.
oh, yellow and black. So you need to make sure that the yellow goes to yellow or the output will be in reverse. Now 27, 28. Right now temperature is increasing. The output for thermocouple comes from J3. The output of RTD comes from J7. And now this is our LDR sensor. This is light dependent resistor. So
Light mobile भी light.
as soon as you get a light source on it, this is our LDR sensor. You can see this light will turn on as soon as there is a presence of light. The output of this can be seen on this point. Now coming to load cell. The load cell sensor is attached on this connector and the output can be seen here. Now as soon as I put on a load of 200, so as soon as I start putting on load, it will show the weight in grams. The output of it can be received from J9. Now coming to our next segment, that is for strain gauge and LVDT. So this is my LVDT sensor. It is also mentioned here, and this sensor goes to LVDT. Now if I want to see the LVDT output, I will switch to LVDT. Right now this is for play. Now we are starting the for LVDT. We have to connect this output to the meter. Red goes to red and black goes to black. You can see it. We have to set the meter to LVDT. Now in our LVDT, we will start moving from 0 towards 0.5. So this is our LVDT. Now we will connect the strain gauge connection. We will move this meter from red to red and black to black. We will disconnect this. We will connect our LVDT connector, so strain gauge connector to strain gauge. Now we will use the same loads that we have used in load cell. This will show us the strain. Like strain is always double. So for 100 gram it will show around 200. For 200 gram it will around 400, and for 400 it will show around 800. So this is the strain gauge trainer kit output. Now coming to the final part of data equation. In the data equation, as soon as you open the system, now we are going to cover the part of the data equation module. In this module, you first have to connect the ground with everything. So we have connected this ground with this one, this, our RTD and load cell. Now we have chosen 4 outputs. First, channel 1 is going to the load cell. Second output is going towards LVDT. Third output is going to our RTD, and fourth output is of strain gauge. So in this data acquisition module which we are going to open, we will be getting data of CH1, CH2, CH3 and CH4 in the form of voltages, and the voltages will represent the actual data. So first we will open QtCom. QtCom is basically the COM port, and we will directly open. As soon as we open, it will start showing us data. So CH0, this one is for load cell, strain gauge, load cell, LVDT, thermocouple and strain gauge data. So now as you can see that if I am pressing hard on the load cell, it is showing in the value of 0.2223. That is because the maximum load capacity is 2 kg. Next is our LVDT. Now as you can see, I am changing the value of LVDT here, and it is showing from 87, 88, 89 and 90. So now, and as soon as I select this one, it will start logging in this file. Now I'll first show you how to change the file. You just have to go here and you have to select. Now the file is on desktop. I'll name it as sensor. Now I'll save the file by the name of sensor. Now what will happen is, as soon as I open, it will start saving these data on the file. Now as soon as I select this one, it will start logging this data to sensor file. Now notice on this CH2, as I am taking the LVDT towards inside, it is converting the CH2 to 40s, 30s, 20s. This is actually showing the data of my LVDT sensor. Right now it is on 2930, 30. So this is 30 that has been moved. Now the fourth output is strain gauge. As you can see that here strain gauge is around 43, 44. As soon as the load is increased, this data is also increasing. And now let us focus on CH2. CH2 is our RTD. Now as soon as I have taken a grip in hand, it is risen from 27 to 28, 29, 28, 29, 30, 31. So all this data is getting logged on to a file on desktop by the name of sensor. Now I'll do is I'll press close. I'll turn this off. Now as this is the file which has been created on desktop. This is a simple text file. The complete data can be selected as Control A, Control C. Now we will go to Open LibreOffice Calc. This is a file used to represent the data in graphical form. Now as soon as we open this, if there is a message, just select don't show tips and OK. Now you have to be careful in pasting, because we needed separate data separated. By space. Always select by space. That is very important for us. You have to make sure that you have to select tab, comma, semicolon, space. Now you have data channel wise. Now if I want the data of temperature, like let us say the first channel, this is my load cell. I'll select the B column. I'll go to insert. I'll go to chart. Line chart and press finish. Now this is my load cell data charted. I can press delete simply. Now if I want the data of the third one, that is the temperature one, this one. I want this one charted. It is very simple. I will select the data column, go to insert, chart, line, finish. Now this is the temperature that has been plotted. You can see there is an gradual increase in temperature. That was because I was holding the sensor in my grip. So this is how data is acquired and charts are plotted. Thank you.